Hello, SquirrelTribe. So my mom tomorrow has to go in for surgery. And it's not a big surgery. It's not a big deal, right? It's for her hand. It's like this little area on her thumb, on her left hand, I believe. And it's probably carpal tunnel syndrome related from, all the jobs she's had in her entire life, and maybe age related, everything kind of compounding together. But I've noticed that as she gets older, which I know is a lot of people like this, as she gets older, there's more doctor's visits, more checking on things, more looking into things. I know she went and had some spots looked at for possibly skin cancer areas. She's getting the surgery on her hand. She's worried about like her eyes and cataracts and glaucoma and all these other different things. And as I get older, I realize that I have a very big distrust of doctors. Like, I want to go as little as humanly possible, and I couldn't really understand why. I was thinking about it. For those of you who don't know, here's a insight into me. These aren't real. I had my breasts done 13 years ago after I had my daughter, and did the whole breastfeeding thing and lost a ton of weight because I got really big while I was pregnant, because I looked at it as a, hey, you're eating for two, so go buck wild. And so I gained a lot of weight. Then after I had her, I kind of sat at about 200 pounds, and then I lost a lot of weight. And then the breastfeeding, and your boobs kind of deflate like a sad balloon, and so I had my breasts done. It's not a surprise, it's not a big deal, it's not like a secret or anything, right? But they've been in for about 13 years, and I want to get them removed. I'm like, okay, I'm done with these. I don't want them anymore. I just want me as I'm supposed to be, right? But I don't want to go to the doctor, and I don't want to have surgery, and I don't want to be put to sleep, and I don't want to do all these different things. I don't even like going to the dentist, or whatever. And with my mom having her surgery on her hand tomorrow, I've started thinking of like why I'm so against doctors. And this might be triggering for some people, and it's not meant to be, and I do apologize ahead of time. But my mom, like I said, it's a very small procedure. It's just her thumb. And I know it's not going to be a big deal, right? Because it's just her hand. But Mom, I hope you're not watching this video. I don't know how to keep you from watching this video, but I hope you don't watch this video. I realize I have not been able to go to the doctor since July 2014. And I realize this as I'm sitting here thinking, like, why am I so apprehensive about doctors? Is it because I think they, take your money, overcharge you, whatever else? I'm like, yeah, technically that has a lot to do with it. But I realize it really all truly comes down to two people. First, my Nana, then my aunt, okay? So my Nana, she had a lot of health issues, whatever, that nobody really tells me about, because I'm the granddaughter. Nobody tells the granddaughter these things, right? And I knew that she'd had some issues, and she needed to go in and have something done to her heart. And I talked to her the day before she went in for her surgery. And I remember, y'all, I feel these are the things that stay with you. And I guess you don't ever like fully work through it. So I talked to my Nana the day before her surgery. And I was on my way to a work meeting, okay? And so I was in a hurry. I was anxious. I didn't want to be late. So I was kind of shorter on the phone than I needed to be. And I'm talking to her and my mom. My mom's at the hospital with her in South Carolina, and I'm in Georgia going to this work meeting. And I talked to my Nana on the phone, and we're joking about stuff, and I'm telling her, oh, it's going to be fine. The surgery's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. And I tell her, I said, you'll go have this little thing done. I think she was having a stent or something put in her heart. Whatever it was a short, you do this thing, and then she goes home and everything's fine, right? So she was having this thing done, and I'm talking to her on the phone. And I'm making jokes with her. I'm like, hey, listen, I'll come see you as soon as I can when it's all said and done. And I said, we'll go get ice cream or whatever else. And I said, I'd take your place if I could. And she said, I'd let you if I could. And that should have been like its own sign to me that she was worried about going in for her surgery. But again, I was in such a hurry to get to work because I didn't want to get in trouble or get yelled at or whatever, that I was like, okay, I love you, bye. And I ended the phone call. And so she went in. She went in for her surgery, and they said everything was fine, and she went home. And 48 hours later, I'm hauling ass to South Carolina to go see her in the hospital because whatever they did not work, and she was basically bleeding out from the inside. And she was going through organ failure and all kinds of so I went to see her in the hospital, and I'm thinking, I get there and I'm thinking it's gonna be fine. She's in the hospital, they're gonna take care of her, everything will be fine, they'll fix her. And I saw her and I spoke to her. And the very last words she said to me were, I love you. And I just told her I love her. Very last words. And then, a couple days later, I had to tell the doctor to pull the plug. Because it couldn't be up to my mom to do it. Like, she couldn't say it, and nobody else could say it, so I had to do it. And since then, every possible thing that could be wrong with me, I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. We'll pretend it doesn't exist. It'll be fine. I'm not going to the doctor. I'm not doing this stuff because I don't trust it now, because now I'm scared of every little thing. My aunt went in a couple years later for a biopsy, died, just got sepsis and died. Like, maybe at South Carolina hospitals, I don't know what it is, but it's terrifying. So I've been contemplating getting these removed, and I am terrified to go in and something go wrong, and my daughter, have to be the one to say, pull the plug or something like that, because my husband couldn't do it or whatever. And it's a terrifying thought. And so my mom's going in for this small little surgery tomorrow. But my brain, I can't look at anything as a small surgery or whatever, because the last time I thought something was not a big deal, it was the end of everything. So I'm very nervous for tomorrow. And I can't talk to my mom about it, obviously, because, this. And I don't want to talk to my husband about it because I know it puts him in this weird spot where he doesn't know the words to say. He's absolutely amazing, but how do you tell somebody that it's going to be okay? How do you convince somebody that it's going to be okay when you've seen before when it hasn't been okay, right? So it's just a small surgery tomorrow, but my brain is playing what if. My brain is playing over, 11 years ago in the hospital, and how that small thing turned into the big thing. And I'm scared of her being put to sleep. I'm scared of just, anesthesia in general. I'm scared that something can happen and they'll create a blood clot. I'm scared that they'll give her sepsis. I'm scared of all these different things. And it's like the selfish part of me wants to say, just live with the pain. It's fine. Just live with the pain. Don't have surgery. Don't do anything like that, please. The other part of me wants to say, stop being such a chicken and thinking the worst of everything. You can't always be negative and think the worst. Think positive thoughts. Look for, the good vibes, all the whatever else. But it's a very difficult thing to do sometimes. And I'm sorry for unloading on you guys, but as you know, y'all are my therapy, and I love you and I appreciate you for it. And it's easier for me to say things out loud like this than it is any other way. And I don't know if that's normal or weird or whatever else, but it's easier for me to say it out loud and then push it down and work through it and be okay, because at least I've put it out there. I'm not holding it in, which I think a lot of us hold a lot of stuff in. But I need y'all, please, if you do pray, if you do the good vibes, the good juju, whatever it is, if you'll just, send it my mom's way for tomorrow. Again, it's not a big deal, I know it. But I'm still scared. So I would appreciate you all if you could take just a couple seconds out of your day to just send a positive vibe or a prayer her way, please. And then tomorrow I will let you guys know how everything went, because we are going to be positive and think positively that everything is fine and no issues whatsoever. And then I will give you guys an update, and hopefully will not turn into a blubbering mess. But it's still very difficult for me 11 years later to think about my Nana, talk about my Nana, whatever else, without. You would think it'd get easier. And my brain goes, turn it off. Just turn off all emotions. Don't worry about it, because it's not an if, it's a when, it's my mom. I don't know if I could, How do you keep on normal life? I saw my mom do it after my Nana passed away. It was hard, it was difficult, but she pushed through. A really good friend of mine, her mom passed away a couple months ago, and it's been very, very hard on her. And I feel like the older you are, when you lose somebody close to you that you love, the harder it is, because you have so many more memories with them. I lost my Nana at 32, 33, and it was just beyond devastating. If I had lost her at 10 and 11, still would have been devastating, but I don't know if it would have been as hard, because I wouldn't have had her for as long as I did. I wouldn't have seen her with my daughter, It's a very difficult place to be, and a difficult emotion to fully understand, to work through, to forget. Like, how do you forget stuff like that? And I know everybody has lost somebody. It's almost impossible to say you've never lost anybody. Everybody has lost somebody. I'm not feeling anything that nobody else has felt. Everybody has felt this at some point in their life, I'm sure. And it's an awful feeling, being this scared and this sad, all wrapped up in one. Whew. But I know people get through it, right? I mean, it's been 11 years. I've made it. I'm here. My mom's made it. She's here. It's just, at some point, it's got to get easier. But does it ever really? I know there's times where I can talk about my Nana and I don't cry. I can talk about the positive, the good, the whatever, the memories, and I'm good. But only if I immediately move on to something else. If I let the memories go too long in my mind, and I don't know if it's always gonna be like that. She's the first person I lost, right? So maybe that's why it hits so incredibly hard. I don't know why I know why I'm having this conversation, because I need to, but I don't know why I'm doing this to y'all, and I apologize. Just needed to get it out, I guess. but I am hopeful. Hopeful and thinking positive thoughts for tomorrow. Like I said, it's a small surgery. It's not a big deal. But I'm scared of thinking of things as not a big deal anymore. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, as George Bush said, can't be fooled again. But I'm gonna positive vibe it. I'm gonna woo-saw it right now. I'm going to fix my face because I have to go into this grocery store. I'm going to apologize for y'all for having just this random emotional breakdown. It was not my intention. It was not my intention at all. It's never my intention to have any emotional breakdowns with anybody, anywhere, ever. I save these for the shower, generally speaking. There's nobody in there, and the water on your face and tears on your face, they intermingled. Nobody could tell if they walked in that you were losing your absolute ever-loving mind. I don't know. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I don't think you understand how helpful and important y'all are to me. So thank you. I love you. All of you. Even the ones of you who aren't very nice to me. I love y'all too, because obviously you need it. That wasn't nice. I take it back. Oh, y'all. Okay. I gotta go home. Pretend this did not happen. Convince my mother not to watch YouTube tonight or ever. I don't know how to block her from a video. Fuck. I didn't think that through. Anyway, Squirrel Tribe. I love y'all immensely. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting me always have the conversations I need to have with y'all. That's that. Okay, we smile now. Smile. Work it out. Smile. All right. I love y'all. Have a good night. Pray for my mother. I will see you guys tomorrow.